let's talk about Amazon packaging requirements. One important thing is we have to bring things to Amazon a specific way, not only with how we ship all our products in together, but each individual product packaging. Otherwise, they may refuse return and not take it. So we got to make Amazon happy, is one of the people we got to make happy with our packaging. So basically, there's going to be a couple things. There's requirements on the boxes, and then the labeling on them, as well as the writing and some things with dangerous and other types of goods. I'm just going to briefly go over some highlights here because there's a lot, and it would take eternity to go into this, and it would all be out of date relatively soon because things are always changing. So I'm just going to basically highlight some main things here and then provide some links for you guys. And then if you guys comment down below with maybe some highlights that I didn't highlight, that would be much appreciated. But yeah, basically what we're doing is we need to have the label, okay? So we need to have the label, and then, there's some other requirements, basically. So we're going to have the UPC or the FNSKU. So that's going to be how Amazon scans in the product, all right? And then now, let's say you're having a retail or a wholesale product, okay? Or you're bundling together some items that are retail or wholesale. What you need to do, just here's a quick tip. Don't use what is called commingled inventory. And that's essentially if you have a UPC for your product, and then there's the FNSKU from Amazon. So FNSKU is like a unique barcode that you get that identifies your product in Amazon, okay? Where a UPC is just going to identify one product in the whole world, okay? So, at Walmart and at a gas station, they're both getting the same UPC code. But if we're both selling, the same bowling ball at Amazon, I guess, I don't even know if Amazon sells bowling balls, we'd each have different FNSKUs. So that's just kind of how that works. If you have any questions, let me know about that. If that wasn't clear enough, boxes, here's just one. It's got to be a 6-sided box, all right? You can't, Amazon don't take any triangle boxes, all right? Don't even try it. You need to put that now inside another square box, because that's just how Amazon does it. You could always sell your triangle box fulfilled by yourself, but if you want to send it into the Amazon warehouse, it can't be triangle shaped. And then, yeah, just something important to pay attention to here. Make sure to look at the dimensions and check out the fee video, where essentially as your box gets larger, the price is going to increase to source it, or the price is going to increase to ship it out for the FBA fulfillment fees. So you want to make sure that you're getting within your price or your dimension tier. You don't want to be 1 inch over and pay $1 extra per unit, because if you're selling thousands of units on this listing a year, that's going to cost you thousands of dollars that were absolutely useless. So just make sure you get the dimensions and then your label on there. You got to have a 6-sided box. Now, essentially, there's going to be stickers and labels and then other requirements. So basically, we had the FNSKU, which we already did. A quick tip, you want to make sure it's a laser printed and not inkjet, because inkjet may fade, and through the packaging process, that's going to get rubbed around a lot, and you don't want that to come off, because then Amazon can't scan it and do anything with it, and your product's probably going to get lost, and you just don't want that happening. So use laser printed with your supplier, or when you send in your first shipment, doing that. Another thing, if it's sold as a set, for example, like let's say you had a case of like a DVD case, okay, that needs to have a sold as set sticker so that they know not to open up this DVD package with multiple DVDs and then try to sell those, or scan those individually. That's kind of one thing. And then this is all included in their packaging guidelines, just highlighting here. Suffocation label. So if you have a poly bag, all right, you need to put a suffocation label on it. So there's even more stricter ones for the baby category and some other categories. Maybe it's always changing, but just for all categories, you need to have suffocation label with the poly bag. And there might be something with lithium ion batteries or other types of products. I'm not exactly sure. So definitely check it out. Something just overall things to watch out for. Please add if there's other big highlights that I'm not getting here. But products that expire, they have to have the expiration date on somewhere on there. I don't know. I haven't sold any expired products. Meltable products, there's requirements. Loose products, like if this was an extension cord, big old cord there. that, essentially the way that is packaged has to have certain things. Also, California Proposition 65. So what is that? Oh, well, essentially certain types of materials, you have to have a warning, or it can't be sold in the state of California if it has certain types of materials that are potentially shown to do cancer. And that's only in California. You can read more about that in the description. So also another thing to look out for is dangerous goods. So if something is flammable, pressurized, corrosive, harmful, and liquids and batteries, it needs to go to a separate Amazon warehouse. They only have one warehouse actually for these types of goods. And essentially, these are going to be dangerous to other products, the fulfillment center, or the employees. So they have special warehouses where they do have different processes because they don't want, they kind of take more care and do things differently, and they don't want to be mixing in, just shipping out high quantity fast, going through things fast. They don't always want to be looking out for something that could be damaging and messing up warehouses or blowing some up. There was a huge explosion in an Amazon warehouse, and so batteries are all dealt with in a specific way, and there's requirements about having them. So make sure that you're definitely doing all of this and reading through all of this, because you don't want to be liable. Like, let's say you send something in, somehow one of your boxes gets crushed and it has a lithium-ion battery, blows up the warehouse. Now you got a big problem on your hands, okay? Because you didn't follow the rules. You signed a contract. Just read the manual. That's it's actually not that hard. It just takes time, and you'll find out that the packaging requirements probably aren't that big. All the products that I've sold have literally I've just had to put my sticker on it and make sure that it passes a 3-foot drop test, which I forgot to mention. So basically, every packaging on Amazon, they are going to drop it from 3 feet, and it can't break. That's kind of how that works, okay? So make sure that your packaging, I even like to get mine, and I would throw it against the wall because, you never know what's going to land or crush on it. So by doing that, you make sure your product's going to get there safe, because you don't want to get those negative reviews. All right, so there's that. I'll just show you something here. It's kind of a little guide. I'll include this link down below. Yeah, here's this, and this is already out of date. This is from June 2016, so it even says on the bottom it expires then. So it's always updating and changing. So definitely make sure to go to the actual website, or just Google Fulfillment by Amazon labeling requirements, and they'll have actually go to the actual Amazon website. This will be roughly close, but that's why I'm not providing any exacts, because things are always changing. And it's impossible for anybody to keep truly up to date. That's not impossible. It's just really hard. So definitely things here, just, going over it. So they have kind of some requirements for your item label. It looks really in depth, but just basically use a label that's like I just use standard mailing labels, like that you'd use with the post office. If you just Google mailing labels, I think they have dimensions here. Use a label between 1x2 and 2x3. Okay, yeah. And then use LaserJet. This is all for like actually shipping your actual package into Amazon. And when you look at this, it's like, wow, this looks overwhelming. It's actually really easy. So don't get overwhelmed by this. I've honestly always just put stuff in a box, made sure I put my products in their packaging in a box, made sure it was well packaged, and just shook it around. And it's like, hey, seems protected. And then my product packaging, I've always made sure it looks nice, and then protects it, and then made sure there's no like strict requirements, and just put my labels on them. And it's been very easy. I've never really even thought about the packaging, because I just checked, read it once, and said, okay, I got it all. And it's a very, not a complex process here, but just make sure, I haven't sold in extremely difficult niches of like selling, gallons of water with gallons of gasoline on Amazon. You can't do that. But anyways, so they have specific category requirements. If you're selling televisions or liquids here, you can't just have it in the bottle like that, I guess. You got to get it actually sealed around there on top. So double sealing. There's special requirements about glass or non-glass liquids, packaging guide for liquids or sharp units. So here's the thing. Basically, if it's dangerous or could cause a hazard, that's when you're going to really need to dig in. But if you're selling a neoprene laptop case, probably just need the suffocation label. You're going to need then your FNSKU label, and then any actual certifications on the outside of it. And maybe I missed something. Let me know if I missed something, but that'd be about it. If you're selling a baby, there's extra requirements. You can't just do this. You can't have price tags. Like obviously you can't have a price tag on the product there. Like it looks kind of tacky. That looks sort of tacky. Yep, fragile in units. I guess if you're selling fragile things, you need to have a fragile handle with care sticker. Yeah, so take a look at this, but it's technically out of date now. So just go ahead and Google the Amazon FBA product requirements, or look at the link down below. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions or concerns or things that you think everybody else should know that I didn't talk about, please leave them below. I'm probably not going to update this video. Actually, no, unless there's like something massively important, which I'll probably just make a new video for. So yeah, go read the manual, and thanks for watching. On to the next video. But before we go, make sure to read this. Okay, this is your contract. You don't want to ruin your product. You don't want to get denied or delay or get in trouble with Amazon because you didn't follow the rules.